Good afternoon, folks. So, last night, not good. Okay. Definitely not good. Not a good look. Not a good game. Not what we wanted to see, but what we got. Okay. And look, I just have to say that I agree with Robin Lundgren on one thing in particular. I've never seen fans crash out like Indiana Fever fans. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're responding to the talking heads on YouTube, who are now not only calling for Stephanie White to be fired, but for Aaliyah Boston to be fired. Well, let me give you a tip, okay? Bad games happen to good players. The Indiana Fever has already exercised the option to keep Aaliyah Boston for next year. Get over yourselves, okay? She's had a damn good year and has put up good numbers. She had an off game last night, as did many players. Okay. Many players. Now, before I get into the stats for last night's game, let's talk about a couple of things. All right. Number one, the overall hatred for Stephanie White. Okay. Look, I'm not a Stephanie White fan, but I would not want to be in Stephanie White's shoes this season. Okay. And I know everybody hates Stephanie White because they think she's done Caitlin Clark wrong. But you know what? You know who doesn't feel that way? Is Caitlin Clark, quite frankly. I know that's going to be a disappointment to some of you people, but that is the reality. Now, was she outcoached last night by Natalie Nikasi? Well, let me just say this. Natalie Nikasi is the coach of the year. What she has been able to do with an expansion team, having them fighting for a playoff spot, is absolutely ridiculous. Okay? It's never been done before in the WNBA. She is the coach of the year. But the reason that Stephanie White is being considered as the coach of the year is because no coach I know, whether it's in the WNBA or the NBA, has had to face the adversity that Stephanie White has faced. Not only did their flagship signer, DeWanna Bonner, go AWOL on her and then decide to play for the Phoenix Mercury, which is what I really believe she wanted to do to begin with, okay? She just had to use the Indiana Fever to get there. I have no respect whatsoever for DeWanna Bonner. I don't care if she's a WNBA legend or not, okay? Then she lost her engine, the engine that keeps the team running in Caitlin Clark, okay? A generational player for almost all of the season. Not what either one of them were planning for when the season began. When the season began, Caitlin Clark in the first 5 games had a triple-double and 2 double-doubles. She was ready and already in mid-season form when the season opened. And it got worse from there. She not only lost Caitlin Clark, but she lost Caitlin Clark's backup in Sydney Colson, a veteran who has won championships and has been a stalwart in the league, okay? She then lost Ari McDonald to a broken bone in her foot. And then she lost Sophie Cunningham for the season. So, no, I don't envy Stephanie White at all. And it's for those very reasons why she is being considered as a candidate for Coach of the Year. But I do believe that goes to Natalie Nikasi this year, and it should go to her, okay? So let's talk about the game. The first 2 quarters of this game took 92 minutes to complete. There was a 19-minute delay, okay? And at that point, the players returned to their dressing room or their clubhouse to wait it out. Then there was a 30-minute delay. There was a problem with the shot clocks, which at the Chase Center, which the Valkyries attributed to a power outage earlier in the day, okay? So this technically threw everybody off kilter. Okay, it took away all the rhythm from the Fever. They were the away team. And they just never got their shit together after this. Okay, it was a bad game. It was a bad game all the way around for the Fever. All right. Not only did Aaliyah Boston have a bad game, but Kelsey Mitchell and Natasha Howard didn't have their usual good games either. Let's be honest about this, okay? It totally threw them off. And you can argue that, you know what? Pro athletes should never be thrown off by stuff like that. I guess it's a little bit easier if you're in your home turf, on your home turf, because in the second half, the Valkyries shot 63% from the floor. Okay? That's crazy talk. So let's look at some statistics, okay? Kelsey Mitchell, 33 minutes, 14 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. This is not the Kelsey Mitchell that we have been seeing in other games, okay? Let's be honest. It isn't. Natasha Howard, 25 minutes, 13.6 rebounds, no assists. Lexi Hull, 33 minutes, 8.6 rebounds, 1 assist. And I'm going to just say this right now. Lexi Hull's value can't be measured in the number of points she scored, okay? Lexi Hull is a force on the floor, no matter when she's out there. Odyssey Sims, 30 minutes, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. Aaliyah Boston, 30 minutes, 4.6 rebounds, 3 assists. This was the biggest gaping hole in the Indiana Fever offense. Had Aaliyah Boston had a better game, this might have been a different outcome. The Fever lost 75-63. She could have been the difference in this game. Aaliyah Boston did not have a good game, but bad games happen to good players all the time in professional sports. No question about it. It happened to Bird. It happened to Magic. It happened to Jordan. It happened to David Ortiz in baseball, okay? Sometimes this shit just happens. And it's unfortunate that it happened in the middle of a playoff run, but we play the cards we're dealt with, okay? Off the bench. Ariel Powers, 19 minutes, made the most of her time on the floor, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Brianna Turner, 18 minutes, 2 points, 2 rebounds, no assists. And then Dantas, 2 minutes, no points, 1 rebound, no assists. Shea Petty, 10 minutes, no points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Overall, not a good game for the Fever. Are they out of it? They are not out of it, okay? They're not. They fell from 6th to 8th, but they're not out of it. This is what we have moving forward. September 2nd, which is tomorrow. We play the Phoenix Mercury in Phoenix. I would love for the Fever to spank the Mercury on their home turf. Because I want to see DeWanna Bonham melt down after the game, if that happens. I admit it. You know, I absolutely, positively admit it. September 5th, the Chicago Sky at home. The Chicago Sky is 5 wins and 30 losses. I find it hard to believe that at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the Indiana Fever will lose that game, okay? September 7th, the Washington Mystics. They are 16-25, even in Washington. I can't see the Fever losing that game. And then September 9th, the Minnesota Lynx. That's a tough game. It's also a home game. Anything can happen. Look, let's look back, okay? Let's look back. Right now, the New York Liberty, who were the favorites to be the #1 seed in the playoffs, are still fighting for a playoff berth. They need 1 more win. When the the Liberty came into Gainbridge Fieldhouse at a 9-0 clip. Caitlin Clark was coming back from an injury and went off on the Liberty. Okay? She went off, and they beat the Liberty and gave the Liberty their first loss. Whoever thought that the Liberty would be fighting for a playoff berth at this point in the season? I thought they were in like Flint. Okay? They have had no major injuries. Okay? And they're fighting for their lives right now, okay? They have one more win to secure, and they probably will secure that and make the playoffs. But at the beginning of the season, they were the favorites, not the Lynx. Everybody thought it was going to be Liberty and then maybe the Lynx. But now it is the Lynx, who have already clinched the #1 berth. And the Liberty still needs one more win to even get into the playoffs. So let's get real here, folks. This is the way playoff ball is. Now, do I wish and do I think the Fever could have played a better game last night? I absolutely do. There's no question about it. But bad games happen to everybody every now and then. And I wish I could say bad games happen to good teams. What I can say about the Indiana Fever is they're a gritty team. But this is not the team they envisioned playing with all season long. It is not. No matter how you want to cut it, no matter how you want to look at it. The Odyssey Sims, Ariel Powers of the league and of the Fever were not playing on WNBA teams this season. They were hardship signings. So this is not what the Indiana Fever had envisioned at the beginning of the season. They weren't envisioning losing a generational player like Caitlin Clark for most of the season. Now, what I know and what I've read in a couple of different places as the projected return for Caitlin Clark is September 7th against the Washington Mystics. And then at home on September 9th against the Lynx. That would give Caitlin Clark 2 regular season games prior to going into the playoffs. Let's hope that that is what happens. Because we may very well make the playoffs, but we need Caitlin Clark once we are in the playoffs. Because after that, the competition gets much, much, much tougher. So here's what I'm saying. I agree with Robin Lundgren on one point. I have never seen fans crash out like Indiana Fever fans. Get a grip, folks, okay? Get a grip. This was not the way it was intended to be. So what we should be doing is rallying behind these guys now, not shooting them down. Let the other talking heads shoot them down. I'm not going to do that. I will say that Aaliyah Boston should have had a better game. I'm good with that. But I am not going to say that they should dump Aaliyah Boston. Give me a break, okay? Just give me a break. This is the time, if you're a fan, this is the time you're rallying around your team, folks. This is not the time you're selling them up the river because some nitwit YouTube content creator is having a nervous breakdown. Okay? Keep your wits about you. The Indiana Fever needs to keep their wits about them. They need to come out tomorrow night ready to play. And let's hope that they can beat the Phoenix Mercury in Phoenix. Because there is nothing I would like to see more than Dewana Bonner getting spanked on her home turf. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.